Welcome to the Catapult Your Business Show. Thank you for joining us. Catapult Your Business features current events occurring that are transforming our economy, new business paradigms and current trends that are transformational, innovative business strategies and concepts that catapult business, asking the experts about new approaches to create pathways for accelerating the velocity of business, and interviews of OC business leaders on their successes and failures, and how they're navigating in the global economy. And now our host, Brian Connors.
Welcome to the Catapult Your Business Show, and thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Connors, your host, and I'm excited to be here today to dialogue on the important issues transforming our economy, what that means for each of us, and what some businesses are doing to catapult their business using the levers of today's digital economy. I'm excited today to be here today with Ray Pacinley, Executive Director of TotalApps, a provider of advanced payment processing solutions. Ray, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on board.
Yeah, glad you're here. So, Ray, what is TotalApps and why are you a part of TotalApps, and what was your journey to get there?
Well, it's kind of interesting. You know, in my former career, I literally used to be a rocket scientist. I went to school for many years, got a mechanical engineering degree, went to work for aerospace, and 3 years in, I realized I didn't want to spend the rest of my life as a cubicle monkey, so I ended up going back to school and I got my MBA, but I was really fortunate because I did that during the dot-bomb era, and I fell in love with e-commerce. I was at least smart enough to realize at that young age that, you know, people were going to need to engineer e-commerce systems. So I hung up my rocket scientist lab coat and started building websites. And from there, I quickly realized that nobody in the payment space understood anything about credit card, e-commerce, risk, fraud. So I ended up focusing on the payment space, and that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years, and that's what TotalApps does. We focus on creating and building the future of what we see as the payment ecosystem.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So, you know, we're familiar with a little bit some of the e-commerce capabilities of, say, PayPal and so forth. So what is going on that's exciting in the area of e-commerce in terms of payment solutions, and how does that apply to consumers and why they should maybe consider using technologies that TotalApps offers?
Great question. You know, if you kind of look at how people have bought, you know, 40 years ago, it was, you know, please mail me a check. 30 years ago, it's please call me. 20 years ago, we started doing, hey, go to my website, buy from my website. But in the past 20 years, we really haven't seen a radical transformative shift in any sort of consumer and or merchant e-commerce solutions. And so the future is based on a couple different areas that we are really focused on. Number one is video. Video is hot, video converts, video is engaging, and enabling people to be able to use video as a selling tool. The other area is obviously mobile.
Right.
Statistics show that 50% of e-commerce will be conducted on some sort of mobile or tablet type device. And, you know, traditional websites don't render well on mobile devices.
Right.
The mobile checkout experience has to be optimized. And the last piece that I think is really changing is the social dynamics and how we're relying on friends' recommendations and peer reviews before we make our purchasing decisions. I guess ultimately what's happening is that the traditional payment space has become a dinosaur, and the meteor is coming. The traditional guys that, you know, flip paper and knock door to door are soon to be extinct, and so we're focused on the next evolutionary step of what that is, transaction processing will look like.
Right. So you talked about video, you talked about, you know, mobile, and then you talked about the payment, you know, part of the problem, processing part of the problem. So as TotalApps, I guess what you're doing is kind of tying all those together more seamlessly so the transaction is more efficient. Is that kind of where you are going in terms of your technology?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest differentiator for us is that we're actually a payment tech company, and so we have about 14 major projects that we're developing, building, and rolling out. You know, if you look at the traditional shopping cart experience. At step 1, add to cart. Step 2, confirm order. Step 3, name, address, phone number. Step 4, step 5, step 6. That is 1990s. We have mobile devices. We've got high-speed connectivity. We got social media. We have all these really amazing, powerful tools at our fingertips, and it still drives me nuts that I have to physically enter and fat finger a 16-digit credit card onto a mobile phone.
Right.
And statistically speaking, customers will go to a website and 50% will abandon the shopping cart. You take that same transaction and you put it into a mobile environment, 93% of people will abandon that transaction. So we need to optimize things, and the technology that we work on eliminate those pain steps and hopefully make it a seamless, fun, exciting experience for the consumer.
So is that much of a difference between someone on a site versus on mobile in terms of the transaction conversion?
Well, I mean, you look at your own past experience. When was the last time you entered in a 16-digit credit card onto a mobile phone? It is absolutely frustrating,
it sure
exasperating.
Is. Yes.
So, people have changed.
Right.
The way the consumer has changed, and so business needs to adapt. Otherwise, they will soon become a dinosaur too.
Right. So TotalApps sells technology, and who are the potential customers that would be using your technology?
Great question. From our side, our smaller clients do about $800 a year. Our bigger clients do close to $500 million a year.
Okay.
So it's really kind of it fits everybody. What we try and do is create systems that are seamless, painless, don't require months of integration or thousands of dollars of upfront cost. It's about democratizing commerce, for lack of a better description. A lot of the organizations that we are involved with are nonprofits, charities, sporting groups,
okay.
Musical entertainers, sports figures, because all these people have social media presence. Mm-hmm. They have millions of Twitter followers. They have hundreds of thousands of people following them on Facebook, and now they're looking for ways to engage and hopefully monetize that relationship that they have with these people. And so that's the next generation that we think is going to be happening.
Right. So is your solution, is that a package solution? Is something that I could buy, in a box, or do I basically have to have it customized by you specifically? How does that actually work in terms of I'm a mid-sized company trying to figure out how to better enable e-commerce with my business?
Great question. And if you look at, for example, what a traditional person has to go through, they have an idea, they want to create a website, they want to go into business for themselves. They may go to a company like GoDaddy, and in the checkout process, they're offered a website, an SSL, a shopping cart, but they don't understand the mechanics of being able to put all of that and make sure it works seamlessly and securely. So all of our systems are designed to be plug and play simple.
Okay.
For example, we are making major progress in rolling out our Twitter payment platform, Tweet to Pay. It's simple. You just sign up. It takes about 3 minutes. You activate it. You have a login. You have a full e-commerce suite. You have inventory control, quality, quantity, size, SKU. Can create hashtags on the fly, and
wow, that's exciting stuff.
yeah, and like we have a videocheckout.com, which is a ability to take any video and add a shopping cart so you can sell products inside the video. You don't have to have a master's degree in electrical engineering. We provide a web-based, for lack of a better description, iMovie.
Right.
You can upload your movies, you can edit, cut, clip, you can add your buy buttons. I want blue buttons that last 4 seconds, and it's drag and drop simple, so any layman can take this technology out of the box without having to spend a dime to get it set up and running. They can run it, test it, see if they like it, and if they want to use it, it's a ongoing service based on performance. So if you don't sell any products, goods, or services, you don't pay a dime.
Okay.
And I think that's a performance-based initiative, which I think the traditional payment people have not really grasped.
Well, that's pretty exciting for a small to mid-sized business that is concerned about investment and so forth. So you're saying that you can install this plug and play for this business, and the way you would make your money is on the transaction, presumably. Is that how you earn your money, or? Yeah,
I mean, our models are similar in fashion to how maybe an iTunes or an Amazon or even an eBay may work. We have a turnkey plug and play tool set that allows you to easily, quickly sell online to the masses without having to invest substantially. The difference is that we're performance-based pricing. So for example, if you sell music on iTunes will take a 30% cut. If you sell through Amazon, that same music may cost you 15%. If you sell
Right.
it through eBay, that might cost you 15% or 10%. Our service charges are depending on the type of product or service and are similarly structured. The beauty is that we are also a very socially forward company. And so we typically waive service fees for legitimate nonprofits and or service-oriented organizations because they need all the help they can to raise funds. And as a perfect example, you can look at the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. They raised $100 million in 30 days,
Wow.
which was more than they did in all of 2013.
Yeah.
The irony is I think that campaign was kind of a failure. Because when I watched the videos, there wasn't an easy way for me to make a donation right there on the spot. There wasn't a way for me to see that you made a donation, and there wasn't a way for you to see that I made a donation. So the next evolutionary step is seeing that where, you're seeing $400 million being done in 30 days instead of $100 million. So that's
incredible.
What we're really excited about.
It's incredible. So basically what you're talking about is this new area of social commerce, which you're engaging your customer early on, and when they are at the most engaged level of interest, is you provide an easy pathway for them to make a transaction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big history buff, and you look at the history of the internet experience. 1994, the first pizza was ordered online, and that was the start of the Web 1.0 experience. And that was all about static content. Build it, and they will come.
Yep.
2004, we had Friendster, MySpace, LinkedIn, Facebook, and all the social media emerge and explode. And that was the dawn of the Web 2.0 experience. And that was primarily predicated on user-generated content. I like, I share, I post. We think the next evolutionary step, it's now been 10 years since Web 2.0 came out. And we think obviously the next step is Web 3.0. But what does that really look like? And we start to see this in our own buying habits. When I go to Amazon and I'm looking for an iPhone case, I may find a vendor that's 1 penny cheaper, but he has 0 stars. And I'm willing to spend a penny more to go through a trusted vendor who has 300 positive reviews. And what's happening is that consumer buying habits are being modified or optimized even based on peer review. And so we believe that the future is the Web 3.0 social commerce era. And what that means is that the consumers are becoming more of a consumption herd. If they like your product, more people will likely buy your product. If they don't like your product, you will not continue to generate sales. So it's critical to incorporate that social component as part of your marketing strategy and sales tactics going forward into the next evolutionary step.
Right. That's a lot of stuff. I mean, you're talking about integrating video, social commerce, social media, et cetera, all with this kind of payment processing capabilities. So give us an example of a potential or an existing case that you might have worked on that's kind of exciting about what's helping someone enable business.
Okay, great question. So we just started a new charity campaign via Twitter this morning for a company called Your Grateful Nation. Your Grateful Nation is a very small nonprofit that was founded to benefit the servicemen of the Special Forces who have tremendous needs. And their spokesman is the gentleman who was the guy who tagged Osama bin Laden. So, so now they're able to reach the entire market. They're able to raise funds quickly. We're waiving the service fees, and they will get paid the funds in 72 hours. And they called us up on Tuesday. So in less than 48 hours, they're up and running. They haven't paid a dime. And now everybody who donates via Twitter, all of their followers see that they made a donation, they retweeted it, and now I can say, gosh, I donated $25. I know you should donate $25, and I'm going to be watching your Twitter feed to make sure that you donate. So there's a social peer pressure component to it. So these are the fun, exciting things that we get to get involved with. We're really heavily involved right now in the entertainment and music industries. They're looking for ways for, Miley Cyrus and these types of caliber of artists to be able to really engage with their fans. Say, gosh, I I have 10 tickets available for my fans. The first people to tweet, I'll give front row seats to tomorrow night's concert. I mean, what a great way to
really
engage with your customer rather than putting a picture of a concert ticket on some Facebook page. So it's really a new evolutionary step in how the commerce is going to happen. And it's really about optimizing the traffic and getting that engagement and getting customers to share about their purchases, so that way other people will be most likely to follow suit.
Yeah, so it's interesting, you're right, because you could see how you could stimulate with all your audience, and like you said, you know, particularly in the entertainment business, the followers of people that are watching who's engaged and who's buying product, who's going to, like you said, shows, concerts, etc. You mentioned, I think, in a prior conversation about an interesting one, you even know who's at the concert, right? Is that where this is going?
So as an example, you know, I buy Lakers tickets through Ticketmaster, and one day I logged in, I was trying to pick my seats, and I see all these little Facebook icons all around the arena, and when I moused over it, I realized that the Facebook icons represented my friends sitting in the audience. My mind was blown. I mean, I can not only pick based on the best seat or cheapest ticket, but now I can pick my product based on what my friends are doing.
Right.
And that was a real aha moment for me. So it's about taking that type of experience and enabling anybody to be able to take advantage of that, not only as a consumer, but as well as a person selling products, goods, or services directly to customers.
Right, right. So I just see so many applications for what you're talking about. I mean, with the video explosion that's going on, with YouTube, what we're seeing happening there, with new fresh content, with people trying to sell products of all kinds, you know, people that are...
It is astronomical, and from a statistical perspective, it is the absolute perfect medium to sell.
Right.
And what I mean by that is that if I have static advertising, banner, web, text, you know, and then I throw up a video next to that, the video will convert 400% better.
Wow.
So if you're spending media dollars, you're going to get a 4x better return on your investment
Than advertising.
Now add to that another component like, hey, great, I just watched a commercial for a Toyota. Well, imagine being able to watch the video and book an appointment to test drive that car right then and there. It's about that immediacy, it's about that engagement, and then after you, or imagine watching a video of a Taylor Swift concert and being able to buy that album right there while watching the video. And then after you buy the video, after you buy the DVD or the music or whatever, you can share that with your friends on Facebook, and all your friends in high school can then, you know, say, wow, you got the new video, you got early access. I mean, it just creates a social buzz that is just going to completely change how marketing, traffic, and sales interact synergistically.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, it's just, you know, just mind-boggling what you're talking about, because, you know, you think about that we've already conquered this problem of the transaction already, but you're saying it's going to be played at a whole different level, mainly because now people are watching of all kinds, particularly anybody that is following you or watching what you're doing or is kind of intrigued by, you know, your lifestyle. It's getting down to a lot of things about lifestyle and what people are doing.
But it's more than that. I mean, what we're trying to do is we're trying to democratize the commerce engine, okay? If I am a startup company and I come up with a cool widget, I don't have to spend $50,000 creating an e-commerce platform. Right. If I'm a budding musician and I've got a really cool hit song, you know, it may be in my best interest to share that song, give it away for free.
Right.
But get those contacts and get those names and get those Twitter handles so that way I can directly engage with my customers.
Right. Well, you know, what's interesting about what you're saying, though, is, I mean, this is kind of frightening for some of the box stores and as well as for, you know, the traditional marketers, because you're basically allowing, you know, individuals to disintermediate them in a sense.
Yes and no. And I'll kind of give you some examples. You know, we just had Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Right.
You know, if you look at it from the context of traditional media, this is just an ancillary channel. You've got your print, you got your billboards, you got your radio, you got your TV. It's really about getting your message across on as many methods as possible. So even though Best Buy had their Black Friday specials and the mad crush. Imagine the follow through if I'm the lucky guy, I managed to buy the $10 flat screen TV, and I can share that with all my friends, and all of you get $100 off your order
That's
if you go
awesome.
through Best Buy. So it's creating gamification, it's empowering people, and ultimately it's kind of changing the whole shopping experience, really.
Well, I think your word gamification says it all, because when I think about it, that's what you're doing. Everybody's on, everybody's engaged, everybody's participating, and that just enables more and more possibilities of transactions for the businesses.
Well, I mean, if you look at, for example, radio is dying, for lack of a better description, and because that's moving to the online space, and your syndicated shows and stuff like that. People are just listening to Pandora and Spotify and stuff like that. So, but the problem with a radio commercial is that it's very difficult for me to get a measurable ROI. If I say, hey, please come to Joe's Pizza and buy a $1 off pizza special today, I can't really measure that ROI. It's the same thing with a billboard. But with the additional twist of these sort of social analytics, we now have the ability to track this down to the exact penny of ROI. So it's about engagement. It's about creating a trackable experience for the merchants. Another way to look at it is just simply this. When we were younger and we did listen to the radio, we'd hear hey, stay tuned after this commercial to be caller 105 to win the concert tickets, right? That method drove engagement because I, after the radio commercial, got on my rotary phone and was trying to win the concert tickets. So if you look at Twitter's kind of like, here's your bullhorn and here's your soapbox. It really doesn't drive engagement. But now we have the ability to say, hey, follow me tomorrow on Twitter, and you can get concert tickets for my show, or get early access to my music, or get, Black Door specials and 25% off anything in the store for the first 100 followers that retweet or do something. So you really have the ability to drive that engagement rather than just standing there with a bullhorn and hope that somebody does what you ask them to do.
Yeah, like you said, it's at your fingertips. And so you were talking a little bit earlier about Tweet to Pay. Is that one of your products?
Yeah, it's one of the 14 products that we have. We figured out after 2 years how to monetize Twitter. And so we have a hashtag-based commerce system. Basically, we create unique hashtags. I keep saying Taylor Swift, but she's a perfect example. So if Taylor Swift is going to be doing a performance at the upcoming CMA show, she can easily, before the show, say, hey, get an early access to my song. Just tweet hashtag #TSwift, hashtag tweet to pay. And we have the digital delivery, content management, rights management, all that stuff kind of baked in. So this is outside of the Apple ecosystem. 42% of people have an iPhone, 58% do not. So how do you get to those other 58% of consumers? What if I don't want to buy an iTunes? What if I want to gift it to a friend of mine? I mean, there's all these other mechanics that are involved that Apple iTunes per se doesn't necessarily enable. So by driving engagement leading up to the CMA, she can say, okay, while I'm playing on stage, vote for me with hashtags, and I will randomly pick one of my fans and fly out, meet you, and we will have lunch. I mean, the PR buzz from something like that is astronomical.
Oh, it's amazing.
But you can't drive and track that engagement just simply within Twitter. So this is taking it to the next level.
And I could see how this could be used, as you said earlier, for, say, nonprofits. An entertainer that wants to give back in terms of saying, hey, here's a way to contribute.
And one of the reasons why we built this, the Tweet to Pay platform specifically, is a poignant case in example was the Haiti earthquake in 2010. The Red Cross did an SMS text campaign. Text 555-555 to donate $5 to the Red Cross.
I remember that.
And this was going to be billed through your cell phone. What most people don't realize is that the telcos were greedy, and they charged the Red Cross 50% to process those transactions on people's phones. More importantly, it took 90 days for the telcos to get the checks, to pay the money, and eventually get the funds into the Red Cross. Well, you know what? 50% in 90 days, that's
a long time.
Very effective fundraising. It literally costs thousands of people their lives. So that's why we built the Tweet to Pay system, because they can create a hashtag flood, hashtag tsunami, hashtag fire in Colorado, whatever they want. They can just create a hashtag and within minutes be starting to do fundraising on the fly. More importantly, they get the funds within 72 hours. And
that's fantastic.
It allows instant relief. There's no cost. We don't charge fees to nonprofits. It's our way of giving back to the community. And our over investment is recouped from all the stars and movies and products that we sell outside of the nonprofit space. So there's plenty of revenue to cover the fees for them. So now we've completely disrupted how people do fundraising.
Right.
As an example, in 2016, they are expecting that political fundraising and donations is going to exceed $10 billion.
That's incredible. I'm not sure that's a worthy part to be spending money on.
No,
but
it isn't. I think it's a complete waste of time.
But that's phenomenal, right?
But, I mean, it allows a local organization to get national exposure.
Yes.
If you're pro or anti or something like that and you're in a community, you can only fundraise in your local community. If you're in Maine, you can now accept donations from somebody in Los Angeles.
Right.
And you can set this up and be up and running, and it's a really disruptive way to change how hopefully our government will work. We want to hopefully see a significant change in that area.
Sure. Well, exciting stuff, Ray. Just in closing up, where are you going and where do you think things are going to be in a few years from now?
Well, I think the Apple Pay is a huge catalyst because it's going to basically train consumers to be comfortable using their mobile phone as a payment method. It's going to take a couple of years, but I've been sitting on the fence with this whole thing. But once Apple jumped in, I'm absolutely certain now that this is going to be a paradigm shift. What this means is that consumers are being trained. They're being trained to use their phone to make purchases. They're being trained to shop. They're being trained to, share it with their friends. And so luckily for us, we had the foresight to start building the tools to meet that demand several years ago, and now we're ready to enter into the market. Another interesting play is the whole Bitcoin thing. From my vantage point, I kind of see it as more of kind of a niche thing, just like PayPal doesn't command a major portion of the industry. You go to a website, it'll say PayPal, pay by credit card, or pay by Bitcoin. The irony is that until either you or I get a paycheck in Bitcoin, it's always going to be kind of a second tier financial tool.
Right. There's a lot of debate about the pros and cons of it by different people in terms of what Bitcoin is. Some people think, the government's going to get involved, and other people think, hey, Bitcoin is the currency of the future. But anyway, pretty interesting. Well, very exciting stuff, Ray. Well, thank you for coming on the show. What's the best way for someone to learn more about TotalApps and how to get a hold of you if they need to ask you any questions? Sounds great.
Our website is total-apps or applepulsam.com, total-apps.com. You can visit our website. We've got live chat. If you need to get a hold of me, just ask for Ray, and any of our staff will pick up and direct you to us. And we were just excited about being a part of this big revolution and hopefully helping our clients to succeed and compete.
Absolutely. Well, Ray, thank you very much. Thank you for coming on the show, and happy holidays.
My pleasure. Happy holidays too. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And this is the Catapult Your Business Show. I'm Brian Connors. Thank you for listening in. Your business success is our most important priority. Tune in and listen to other Catapult business shows by visiting catapultbusiness.net to hear more topics on how you can catapult your business to the next level. You can also reach us by phone at 949-423-3978 or email us at catapult@consultantslink.com. This is Brian Connors. Thank you for watching.
Consultants Link provides business a link to the most necessary business resource, the knowledge pool of intellectual capital and highly specialized professional services and consulting expertise. We provide businesses outside-the-box strategies and tactics with SWAT team execution for solving business' most pressing concerns and for accelerating the velocity of business results. Consultants Link's flexible workforce offers business a leaner, more flexible staffing model to help businesses meet the real-time demand for expertise, obtain faster results, and higher returns on investment at a premium value.